Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. The owner of this car had just completed a welding course and had decided to build his very own exhaust system, but had to come into the shop 2 weeks later because he said it's way too loud. The owner of this truck came in for a state safety inspection saying, "Listen, me and my brother are both mechanics and do all our own work, so just tell us what's wrong with it and we'll fix it ourselves like we've done before." And this customer said that he had a few holes in his car but that he'd taken care of it already and just wanted a tire rotation. And this car came in because the engine ran rough and sometimes wouldn't want to start. And this car came in looking like this after the customer said that they hit their driveway curb a bit faster than normal. This guy came in with his truck looking like this after he had attempted to tow a trailer with a small excavator on it. The owner of this truck rolled in because he wanted the mechanic's opinion on whether or not it would be worth it for him to install a trailer hitch. The owner of this Jeep came in saying, "I was just flashing the headlights at this guy who cut me off, but then my car started smoking like crazy." And this guy came in saying, "Was in a rush to get home from work when I suddenly heard a loud clunk and then the car just stopped." The owner of this car had it in for some brake work at another shop, but they had apparently permanently misplaced the caliper bolts without mentioning anything to the customer. The owner of this semi-truck came in saying, "The truck clunks and vibrates a lot at higher speeds, ever since I hauled a load of extra large concrete garden gnomes. Please advise." And thankfully, this customer came in right on time to get this pretty massive oil leak fixed. The owner of this car came in saying, "Was driving to the grocery store when the electric windows suddenly stopped working. Please check and advise." The owner of this Mercedes C-Class came in saying, "I don't know what it is, but anytime I go on the highway, it smells like a barbecued skunk." And this customer had installed an oil pan without an oil plug, so the mechanic had to get a little creative to drain the oil. This truck came in with its brakes literally breaking. Also, the customer had done some beautiful DIY repairs on the subframe. Sport, baby, sport. And this car came in because the turn signals had stopped working because the owner hadn't changed the blinker fluid in a while. And this guy came in saying that he had a wobbly steering wheel for a while, but fixed it himself. This customer drove into the shop saying, "Car's been burning a bit more oil lately, thought to have it checked out." This car came in right on time to get a new tire after the customer had this happen to them while driving on the highway. This customer came in saying, "Fixed the intercooler at my buddy's garage, but now the car leaks coolant and accelerates like a sloth trying to get down a tree." Looks great. Customer states, "Car has started to run real bad and accelerates like a sea turtle. Please advise." This car came in because the owner said that his oil light keeps coming on, even though he has topped it up with over 20 quarts of oil the past 10 days. This customer had installed a new sound system and soundproofing kit they'd gotten at a bargain price off Temu, but had to come in because now their windows won't roll down anymore. And this guy came in saying that he had a minor vibration in the steering wheel. The owner of this Peugeot SUV had tried topping off her washer fluid by herself, but had accidentally filled it up in the wrong place not once, but twice. Customer states, "Installed new brakes at a local garage, but I think I got bamboozled." This truck was in for an inspection after the customer had done some suspension and exhaust work on it, all by himself. This car came in for a post-purchase inspection after the previous owner had stated that it was almost like new underneath and that it didn't have any major leaks. This Peugeot expert came in for its first oil change since 2011 after the customer said it had started to run poorly the past few days. This Toyota pickup came in for an oil change when the mechanics noticed that it was a bit crowded in the cab. This customer came in saying, "I've been getting this strange rattling sound for the past couple weeks. Can you check it out?" The mechanic later found out that the customer had been in for a tire rotation at another shop, and they had installed all the lug nuts the wrong way. This car came in with a pretty wrecked interior after the customer's husband had found out she was cheating on him with her manager at work. The owner of this car had saved a bit on car repairs and parts throughout the years, and this is what the mechanics found. Customer states, "Friend of mine changed a wheel bearing a while back, but as of last month, something's not right with the wheel. Can you check it out?" Customer states, "Hit a large memory foam pillow on the freeway while on my way to work. Please check and advise." And the owner of this car had started getting a loud sound when driving on the highway, after they had done some framework on it together with their father. Customer states, "Car has a misfire and is idling really rough. Please advise." This BMW Z4 rolled in because the owner had hit a pothole while going to their summer vacation place. This truck came in with a coolant leak after the customer's friend had tried fixing it for them. This customer had some brake work done and a new battery installed at a different shop, but had to come in because they could barely stop the car. Turns out that the other shop had skipped reconnecting a couple of parts. This car came in after the owner said that it had started to run rough and feel sluggish at all speeds and wanted it looked at. Turns out they hadn't changed the oil in over 38,000 miles. This customer came in saying that they'd been getting a loud noise when braking and occasionally some clunking sounds, but didn't mention anything about this. Customer states, "Had starting problems but fixed it himself. Wants mechanic to make sure everything looks good." This customer's friend had told them the secret to cheap and easy tire repairs, but they still had to come in and pay to have their tire fixed. Customer states, "Friend of mine borrowed the truck for a week and said that he had hit a rock one day, but that he fixed the damage himself and that I shouldn't worry about it." Customer states, "I do all my own oil and filter changes, but lately car has been feeling kinda different. Can you check and see if everything's alright?" Customer states, "I've installed 3 new batteries the past 2 months, but not a single one of them can keep a charge." And this car couldn't have come in any sooner to get some new tires installed. This car came in after the owner said he had speeded through a red light when he suddenly heard a loud boink sound. Talk about some instant karma right there. The owner of this car had some issues with their headlights, but had temporarily fixed it by themselves. This car came in for an oil change, but the mechanic flat out refused to work on it as soon as he saw the state of the interior. Customer states, "There's a rattling sound whenever the car's running. Turns out that the timing chain was free roaming." Customer states, "I hear water when I'm turning." The owner of this car came in saying that lately their brakes have been feeling different, and this is what the mechanic found. Customer came in saying that they've got a terrible clunk at all speeds, ever since their little cousin borrowed the car for a month. And this car came in after the owner complained about it leaning a bit more to one side after hitting a pothole doing 60 miles an hour. This car came in with a bit of a rattle after the customer had installed an exhaust system in their very own way. The owner of this car came in complaining about a really wobbly steering wheel. This customer rolled in with their truck looking like this, after a recent tire rotation at a different shop. And the owner of this car came in saying, "I've been to 2 shops already to try to fix these tire leaks, but each time it just gets worse." This vehicle came in because of an exhaust leak after the customer had installed their own homemade sport exhaust system. And this customer came in and said, "Don't try and upsell me brake pads or whatnot. I just had new ones installed 3 months ago." Customer states, "What do you mean my truck's dangerous to drive? I've been driving like this for years, and my buddy does all my work for me for free." This customer had taken his car off-roading in the desert, but it had overheated so badly that the dipstick had started to melt and caused the engine to stall. This customer came in saying that they have trouble getting the car to stop, ever since their uncle had helped them install some new calipers and brake pads a few weeks prior. And this customer came in saying that his car makes a strange loud sound when accelerating and wanted it looked at. And the owner of this truck came in saying that they had been racing their buddy when the turbo seals blew, and this is how that ended up looking like. This customer came in because they had a loud clunking sound when driving, after they had some engine work done at a different shop. And this Toyota Hilux pickup came in with some starting issues after the customer had done some electrical work on it by himself. And this car rolled in after the customer said, "Engine temperature has been crazy high ever since I replaced the head gasket myself. Please check and make sure it's nothing serious." The owner of this BMW SUV came in complaining about a strange sound coming from the differential, and this is what the mechanic found. This customer came in with their truck after they accidentally put over 100 psi each in their rear tires. The owner of this car had it in for an inspection when the mechanic discovered they had fixed their bushings in a very economical and creative way. And this guy had apparently hit a small log that had fallen out of a logging truck in front of him on the highway. Customer states, "Car jerks a lot during acceleration. The mechanic found that the engine mounts were pretty much non-existent." The owner of this Lincoln Town car rolled in because they had a loud noise when driving after their friend had installed a differential from a scrap car. And this customer had just purchased their new Fiat 500 from a local dealer and was on their way home. While driving on the highway, they had apparently tried to forcefully shift it into the 6th gear, which didn't exist, and had instead put it in reverse. Customer states, "Me and the boys lowered the car the other night, but I think we might have gone a bit too far." And this truck came in because the owner said that it keeps squirting on random strangers and wanted it fixed. Customer states, "My gas mileage is terrible. Could you please do something about it?" This car came in because it overheated due to a bit of a coolant leak. Turns out that the customer had been driving it for years without proper maintenance and that it wasn't the first time it had overheated. The owner of this Infiniti had just purchased it and had let their friend take it for a ride, but came in on a tow truck 2 hours later, looking like this. Must have been one hell of a ride. Customer states, "Forgot my keys one day, so I had to improvise." This Mini Cooper didn't want to start after it had been parked near a tree for a few months while the owner was away traveling. Not sure if this is a dump or someone's home. What do you think? This livestock trailer came in after the owner said that they recently towed some cows for about 400 miles, but that the trailer had started making a weird sound the last couple miles. And this customer had installed brake rotors at a different shop, but had to come in because of a vibration at all speeds. This customer had done some suspension work at another shop, but had to come in because now they have a pretty loud rattling sound. And the owner of this Ford Maverick rolled in saying, "Brakes have been getting louder and louder the past few months, and I'm not exactly sure why. Please check and advise." This customer came in saying, "Washer fluid goes anywhere but on the window. Please advise." And the owner of this car came in saying that they just want a tire rotation when the mechanic discovered this. Customer states, "Yeah, I had a noise from the differential for a while, but I fixed it myself." And apparently this car came with a built-in bubble machine. And this guy had installed some LED lights by himself, but had to come in because now he has no brake lights at all. Yep, looks good. And this customer had done some brake work at another shop, but they had missed to tighten the lug nuts properly, so the wheel was this close to falling off. Customer states, "Drop my lucky coin in one of the air vents and I need it back. Please advise." And this customer had done some suspension work on his car, all by himself, but had to come in because of a clunking noise. Customer came in complaining about their car handling like a boat full of watermelons at all speeds. This customer had borrowed his buddy's van, but had to come in because it had quite the steering wheel vibration when driving on the highway. Apparently, the van had recently been in for a tire rotation at another shop, and they had accidentally installed the wrong set of tires on it. And the owner of this car had installed a new sound system in their very own creative way, but had to come in because they now have a starting issue. This Chevy Silverado came in for a pre-purchase inspection after the current owner had said, "Trust me, I've put some of the best undercoating there is on this puppy." This SUV came in after the customer had hit a speed bump that looked smaller than it actually was. This customer came in complaining about their AC not working as it should, and this is what the technician found. Customer states, "Heard a loud bang and then just lost all power. Please advise." And this customer had installed a used transmission together with a friend, but had apparently forgotten the torque converter bolts and had to come in because the car wouldn't move forward or backwards anymore. And if your car ever starts sounding like this, you hopefully have some good car insurance. Customer states, "Car came to a sudden stop after hearing a loud squeaky sound. Turned out that the transmission had turned itself into a mechanical Caesar salad because it had been running with pretty much no oil in it after the customer had hit something on the road." And the owner of this car came in complaining about a grinding noise when turning after having been parked in a grocery store parking lot for a few days. This truck came in after the owner said that one of his wheels had rolled past him on the highway and that he speeded after it before it got away. Customer came in complaining about their brakes feeling different after having their brakes refurbished at a different shop. The owner of this car had installed a used wheel bearing from a scrap car together with his cousin, but came in on a tow truck 4 days later after the wheel bearing had failed. pretty instant karma right there. The owner of this SUV came in saying that they've been getting a pretty bad clunking noise ever since they had some suspension work done at a quick fix repair shop. And this customer came in for their first water pump replacement in 25 years. The owner of this Ford Edge came in complaining about a slight vibration when driving on the highway. And this customer had let their stepson change their oil and filter, but now had a bit of a leak. Customer states, car starts smelling like a sweaty locker room every time I turn on the AC. The owner of this car rolled in saying he's had a clunking noise for a while, but when the mechanic told him the price, he just rolled back home. This customer came in saying that they've been getting a strange sound from the front for a while and wanted the mechanics to have a look. That is probably as close as it can get. Customer states, there's a rattling sound when driving. Please advise. Seems like the customer must have forgotten they had a dog cage with an open hatch in the back seat. And this car came in after it had started to run pretty rough after a recent oil change at a quick lube shop. Turns out that they were so fast that they had put washer fluid in the engine instead of engine oil. Customer states, starting issues and sometimes there's a misfire. Please advise. Customer came in saying, had a few beers with the boys the other day and then we worked on each other's cars, but now I have this clunking sound and I just can't figure out where the hell it's coming from. This vehicle came in after the owner had fixed a coolant leak at another shop the week before, but looks like their mechanics couldn't even fix a sandwich. And this customer needed to replace a gasket but was a bit short on cash, so he built one himself using a piece of cardboard and some electric tape. And this customer came in saying, just bought these new wipers, but they ain't working. The owner of this car came in with pretty much no brakes after their friend had helped them install new calipers and somehow forgot the caliper bolts. This car came in with some starting issues after the owner had installed a new battery by himself. And this truck came in with some issues. And this customer had bought some new lights for his car and had spent 3.5 days trying to install them before giving up and coming into the shop to have it fixed. This customer came in with their outboard motor because it wouldn't spin the propeller anymore, after the customer had gone max throttle for 60 minutes straight and accidentally got caught in a fishnet. This guy came in with his car saying that the steering wheel has started to wobble a lot ever since he installed larger wheels together with his younger brother. And this car apparently has a tenant that doesn't pay any rent. And this guy came in with his car saying he hit a duck on his way to work. This Pontiac Sunfire had to come in because the owner said that the whole car feels loose whenever they let go of the gas after accelerating. And the owner of this car came in saying, I park near a nuclear power plant when I go to work and there's usually a lot of birds around, but it has to be something in what they're eating, cause look at this. And this car came in for a pre-purchase inspection, and thankfully so, because it was just seconds away from literally falling apart. This customer had installed a roof rack on his car, all by himself, but had to come in because he now had a strange sound when driving on the highway. This truck rolled in for an inspection after the customer had converted it from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive and wanted to see if they had done it right. This guy came in saying, a friend of mine helped me replace radiator hoses in my truck, but now it has started to overheat on me. Customer states, I heard you need to change spark plug fluid every once in a while, so that's why I'm here. Please advise. Customer states, slammed the brakes pretty hard and heard a clunk sound. Could you make sure it's nothing serious? Brakes. Who needs them anyway? This customer came in complaining about really squeaky brakes ever since they apparently got it fixed at a different shop. This semi-truck came in because it had trouble starting and had really poor acceleration. The mechanic discovered that the air filter looked like this and probably hadn't been changed in a couple of years. Customer states, running boards on my truck have been acting all crazy since I started driving my fat stepson to school every morning. Please advise. This car rolled in because it kept overheating after the customer's brother had replaced a couple of coolant hoses but forgot to tighten them properly. And the owner of this Dodge Durango came in because he couldn't unlock it after another shop had changed the battery in his car key. And this customer came in complaining about a wheel noise when driving on the highway after their friend had helped them install new brake pads. This truck came in because it finally needed some new brakes, 17 years after the owner bought it new. Customer states, was pocket parking and brushed against the curbside. Can you fix it? Customer states, car has started to smell funkier than normal. Please advise. This customer had fixed a minor oil leak at another shop but had to come in because it was still leaking. And this Camaro came in for an oil change when the mechanic noticed that the customer had done some custom mods on it. Customer states, clunking sounds when going over speed bumps. This car came in with a wobbly steering wheel after the driver had hit a high curbside. Here's another great example of car engineers that don't care for the car mechanics at all. In this case, the oil pan is secured by special brackets that are a real pain in the ass to get out. And the owner of this truck came in saying that his wife had hit a curb a bit harder than normal. And you know, as a mechanic, sometimes it's actually better to wear gloves. This car came in because it had some starting issues after the owner had done some work on it together with his friend. The mechanic found the ignition connectors super glued to the coils and had to install a completely new harness. Customer states, truck leaks coolant. Please advise. Turned out that the customer had replaced some hoses over a year ago, but didn't tighten them properly, so coolant had slowly been leaking out and eventually caused a much bigger leak. And this car came in after the owner said that the roof light had suddenly stopped working after their daughter had borrowed the car for the weekend. And this Chevy came in because of smoke coming out of the engine bay. Turned out to be caused by oil leaking onto the manifold from a broken oil filter. Customer states, drove through what looked like a little puddle, but damn thing near swallowed the whole truck. This truck came in with a few leaking tires after driving past a construction site on their way to work. And this truck came in with a wobbly steering wheel after the owner had done some work on it himself. This customer came in after they had raced their buddy at a stoplight, but then suddenly heard a loud clunk from the engine and lost pretty much all power. And the owner of this truck had apparently left it parked on the wrong side of town for over a week. And this car came in because the customer complained about a constant tire leak and wanted it checked out. This Jeep rolled in with a clunking noise after the customer said that he hit some tumbleweed on the highway 4 days ago. Customer states, brake issues, but only when driving in the rain. Please advise. The owner of this car had rotated the tires by himself, but had to come in because he now had a pretty bad clunking sound. And this customer had their friend, who owns a small private garage, balance their wheels for them, but now has a pretty bad steering wheel vibration. And this truck rolled in for an inspection when the technician noticed that someone had been somewhat creative with the driveshaft. When you've been working 14 hours in a row on a car, and it just... This Hyundai Tucson came in because the owner said it handled like a sheet of plywood on a windy day. And this customer came in saying, "Did my first oil change, but car now sounds like a rattlesnake. Please advise." And the owner of this truck came in saying that putting their car into drive is like winning the lottery. This car came in because the owner said it had started to clunk a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.